Hi. Okay. How you
One
doing?
minute, he's
I'm
still
Wayne
connecting.
Miller.
Not
Okay.
still connecting. Can you hear us?
Hello, I'm here.
Can you hear
I can,
us?
sorry.
Okay,
Very
good.
good. Okay, now we can start, Wayne.
All right, we'll start now. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy
Hey, how you
Rivera,
doing?
board member.
Ted
Hello.
August, board member.
Deborah
How you
Richardson,
doing?
Boards Administration.
Michelle Ram, board
Okay.
administration.
Hello.
Jason Ria, Department of License Inspections.
Okay.
Okay.
Collins, licenses and inspections.
Sir,
Hey,
you're gonna be testifying in this case. Could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
I do.
Okay, good. Jace, go ahead.
All right, this is BBS case number MI-2021-005154 for 8034 Brunswick Avenue. For the record, can you please state your name?
Tyrone Thornton.
Okay.
Tyrone Thornton.
Yeah, we hear you. Okay, so we'll get started. Victor, can you give us a little rundown on this case before we with it?
Okay,
On Brunswick?
real quick. This case here, this property has no roof. If you look at, well, I know y'all don't have the shared screen. We looked at it earlier, and this is the one that has no roof, just side walls. It's in very bad shape. The gentleman said that he purchased this property 2 years ago. All right, and he said, I started cleaning it out so I can start the repairs 6 months ago. LNI cited me. Well, anyway, he was stopped. The work, whatever they were doing was stopped. It's not even safe to go in there to even do, just to gut it out unless you're really a contractor, because in this type of situation, if the wrong thing is moved or the lateral support or whatever's breaking, I don't know the status of this gentleman's experience with construction, but all it takes is for the lateral support to be knocked out of place and the wall's gonna tumble down right on you. So this case was written on 11/8. It was going to be placed out to demo. I don't know if he had a conversation with Tom, because Tom wants to give him 30 days to get the permit to do whatever he's going to do. And if not, we're going to have to move forward.
Okay. So what do you got to say for yourself?
Oh, well, a couple of things. I'm going to back it up a little bit just to give you a history. No work was ever stopped. But just to give you a history, I purchased the house 2 years ago, pretty much in the condition that it's in. I started to clean up property so I can get it prepared for, to put it back together. LNI came out, I'm going to say 6 months ago, and they they said that I had to board up the basement windows. So I boarded up the basement windows and I put a lock on the front door because I was going in and out of it just to clean it. They came back and then they boarded it up. They boarded up the upstairs windows when they only told me to board up the basement windows, but they boarded up the upstairs windows. I called LNI because of what just happened. I didn't know they wanted me to board up the first floor windows. They said the basement. I have the paperwork. So anyway, they said they would. I called LNI, forgot who I spoke to. So he said to me, I can still enter the property, but they just was boarding it up. So the condition that the house is in today was the same condition that the house was in when they boarded the windows up. I was never told I couldn't do anything to the property. They told me if I go back into the property, I just had to make sure it was locked up when I left. They said nobody else can enter the property, but it's my property. I can enter the property. I just had I couldn't I wasn't doing any work in there. All I was doing was cleaning it. So nobody ever told me I couldn't clean it. Nobody ever told me I couldn't prepare it to be ready to be put back together. And when I purchased the property, I didn't know I had a time where I had to put everything back together. I didn't know. Nobody told me that. I purchased the property in the same condition that you pretty much see it in, outside of me cleaning it. But anyway, on top of that, I get fined and I get the threat to demo the building. This is the building that I purchased. I purchased it in that condition.
Well, the thing is that, did you get a letter? Did you get anything, a notice of violation from the L&I telling you that the building was imminently dangerous?
Absolutely not. And here's where it got tricky at. See, I got a phone call because my family has property next door, 8032. That's my, my grandparents, it was a family house. That was the reason we purchased that house next door to it, because we didn't want to go to anybody, and we said, man, we can put it back together and we'll keep it. We didn't know we had the time on it. I purchased the house, everything is on me. But anyway, the fast forward it, they boarded it up 6 months ago in the condition that it's in. They boarded it up, and I'm trying to, because of my money situation, I'm trying to put money together so I can get everything together. I don't have no stop anything. All they had was that the orange sign that they put on the door. I get a phone call on, if you say that went out on the 11th, this is where it gets tricky at. I get a phone call either on whatever Tuesday that was, the 9th or the 10th. I'm not sure what day it was. I get a phone call from my brother, and my brother said, L&I is out here, and they talking about demoing the house. So I said, demoing the house? I know the roof. I needed to replace the roof. I said, ask them, if I had time to replace the roof. I'll get it fixed. Whatever I got to do, I'll get it fixed. I didn't get it. I said, I didn't get any letters. I didn't get anything. So he gave me some numbers to call. And I'm at work. I'm at work at the time, and I'm running around scrambling. I'm calling all of these numbers. So I finally got through to a number that I forgot what number, but it had me on hold for a while. And it gave me a whatever place I was in line. I actually, because I work for the city as well. I actually parked my truck and went inside of City Hall because that's where they told me to. Somebody else told me to go inside City Hall, go to room such and such. By the time I got close to the room, somebody picked up that phone. When they picked up the phone, I explained the situation. L&I is saying they're going to demo my house. I got people over there now. I don't know what to do. I haven't received anything in the mail. So she said to me, well, we don't have you on the demo list. I gave her the address, 8034 Brunswick. We don't have you on the demo list. I said, well, why are they trying to tear down my house? So she said, well, call this number. I called this other number. I don't know who I talked to. So anyway, she said, I don't have you on the demo list. I have 8032. I said, 8032 is an empty lot. It's empty. I said, 8034 is the property that they're talking about tearing down. 8032 is an empty lot. So she said, no, 8032 belongs to the city. I said, that's fine, but my property is 8034. So she described it as a 2-brick story, blah, blah, blah. I said, yes, that's 8034. So anyway, she says to me, after she went and did whatever she did, I don't know what she did, but she came back and said, okay, I'm sending L&I out tomorrow, and you're going to be hit with a lot of fines. And that was on between the 9th and the 11th. I forgot what day it was. So I'm waiting for something to come in the mail. I don't know what kind of fines they're going to give me for what. So anyway, I get this. I got that. Whatever you have, the violation, the imminent danger, all of that's when I got that. But prior to that, now mind you, I was there 6 months ago. I didn't get anything. Not to say it had to be tore down. So this is where I'm at now, because I would have had time to try to put everything together that I need to get together.
You sent us.
I want to save my property. I don't want it tore down. I want to fix it. I want to save it.
I looked at the package and something wasn't right.
Victor?
There was an NOV sent out on November 12th.
The plan basically
to 26. Wait a minute. What is your address, sir?
8034 Brunswick.
No. What is your mailing address?
My address is 2636 South 80th Street.
That's where the NOV went. That's where we sent it at November 12th. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me finish. I heard you out. Let me have a minute here. You said you saw a sign on your building, right? You didn't read it? You didn't read what the sign?
Orange sign?
Huh?
The orange sign?
Yes.
The orange sign?
Because it has the inspector's name, the day we were out there, and the number to our department. So if you read this, then you were aware that we were there, and you knew why we was there because it says it on the poster, either imminently dangerous or unsafe. Now, another thing, you bought this property 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So if this property wasn't owned by you and it was next door to your house, how would you feel? Would you want it to stand, knowing that at the time before we told you to board up the basement or anything, that all these openings is open for little kids to go in there and possibly get killed for something falling on them because you have no roof. So the rest of the property is not too far behind it because it's open to all the elements, exposed to all the weather. You don't know if the floors are safe or anything. So when they told y'all to not stop the cleaning part or whatever, I wasn't there. I'm not even gonna get into that. But there was a reason why we put the sticker on the building, okay?
Okay. Let me answer.
If you knew that then, all you had to do was read the poster, and it would have told you who to contact, who to call.
But I did.
I don't know who you spoke to. And so I can't say it's legible because you say you don't know who you spoke to. If it was my building and I'm trying to save it, I'm going to find out what is your name, ma'am? What department do you work in, or sir? Because I need to get heads, I need to get to the bottom of this so I can straighten this out. So I don't know.
Right. Like I said, I've seen the orange sign. I called the number on the orange sign, and the person that I talked to told me it wasn't an issue. They said, you're going to be fined. I said, okay. But my building was okay. That's what they told me. And I don't know you like you don't know me.
Yes,
I swore an oath. I don't know if you swore an oath. I'm here only to tell the truth and speak on what I have. So anyway, when, like I said, that building, if you go back and listen to what I said, the house directly next door to it, 8032 was the house that I grew up in. That's my grandparents' house.
Now, right?
We have 6 generations out there. Six generations. I purchased that property only because it's an extension of the legacy that my great grandparents left. That's the reason that but anyway, when they said to board up the basement got boarded up. They didn't tell me board up the first floor window. They came back and boarded up the first floor window, and they put that sign on there. And when they put the sign on there, I called. When I called them, because I'm freaking out. I never had this happen. I don't have no money, but I got up enough money to pay the $30,000 to get it off the sheriff's sale. I got that money up and I got it. Then I get hit with more fines. And it's fine. I said, I'll pay it. Whatever I got to do, I'll pay it. But to me, it seems like you're just trying to take my property. I did everything that I was supposed to do. They boarded it up 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, I called and they told me I wasn't in any danger. Wasn't no problem, but I'm going to get hit with those fines. I never even received, you see how you say you sent something on the 11th or the 12th? I never even received nothing after you boarded it up. I didn't receive anything in the mail. When I called, whatever it was this month whenever it was, I think it was the 9th or 10th, when I spoke to somebody, when the city came out to tear down the property that they don't own. They don't own. I own that property. And this is where I think how it got tricky.
Okay.
You just boarded it up 6 months ago.
Please, because I only have 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
This is what the licensing inspection.
Need you to do.
You got 30 days, the engineer report and a permit to start work. You must work until it's made safe. You cannot stop, go on a 6 months hiatus, go on to Cancun and come back.
That's fair. That's fair.
You got
Okay.
30
That's
days.
fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Fair.
I gotta go. 30 days, engineer report and you get a permit to start work. That's it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. And that's just to make safe.
Okay.
Okay. And I appreciate it. I thank y'all for having me in this meeting. I really appreciate it.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this, sir.
Okay.
To be very
You
clear.
have to get a licensed contractor for the city in order to get the permit. Before you get the permit, you need an engineer's report. and they'll do that if you get a licensed contractor. And you got 30 days
Okay.
to do that, and then you commence working, okay?
Okay. Yep, that's
And,
fair.
you
And I,
have to
like I said, I
contact-
thank y'all.
The people you have to contact is CSU. Write that down.
CSU.
CSU. I'm gonna give you the number, 215
Uh-huh. 215
686
686.
2583.
Any
2583.
specific person he should talk
Oh,
to?
we answered this, only me, Tom, and Megan.
Okay.
Okay.
Gordon, give me
I
that, give me that
appreciate-
number back. Let me make sure we have it right.
All right, 215.
Okay.
Oh, him. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have to contact CSU 215-686-2583.
Yes, sir. And you have 30 days, sir. Then make no mistake on the 30th day. If you don't have an application,
I appreciate
wait
it.
a minute, let me hear you, man. I want to be clear. You don't have an application in the system to start fixing that property. For whatever reason, it's not our responsibility. It's yours. It's your property. We will be tearing it down.
30 days.
Okay?
30 days.
30
Thank
days.
you very much. And I'm on it.
I wish you well
Thank
with
Okay, good
Just
luck.
one thing to
Bye,
clarify.
Victor.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Victor. Yeah, one thing to clarify is if the city does tear it down, they don't take the property. The cost of the demolition would be assessed against, to you, or, ultimately, if you ever sell the property, it would be assessed. But it remains your property. They are simply tearing it down in order to remove the danger.
Right.
And the problem with this, when it might have been, 2 years ago or in the interim, if somebody was out there, they may have wanted it to be boarded up, but they may not have determined that it was imminently dangerous until more recently, because things, deteriorate over time, even though, as you say,
Right.
it's pretty much the same. So they can't
Right.
be everywhere all the time, but when they get there, they have an obligation to take care of it.
And just
Good luck, all right?
another option, LNI will take down the whole building if nothing happens in that 30 days. If your least expensive option is to just tear down the part that's bad, leave the front of the building or whatever, that might be your best option. Then just board it up and make it safe so nobody can enter. We're not saying you have to fix it and bring it back to its grandeur. You just have to make it safe. And that might be take down the bad part, which any contractor would tell you it's easier to build that new than it is to try to save what's there and build on top of it.
Right. Okay.
So just look at that as an option.
Explore all your options
Okay.
with your contractor, all right?
Yeah, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all taking me and having this meeting with me.
No
and
problem. Good luck, buddy.
explaining.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Talk to you.
Alrighty. All right.
Yeah. There's two people.
Okay, fine.
Hello.
Hey, hi guys, how are you?
Hey, what do you say,
Hi.
man?
Good.
Everybody in?
I'm not
You
sure
have
if Avery is joining
Yes.
us. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
here.
in. I brought her in.
Okay, let's get started. I'm
Okay,
Wayne Miller,
cool.
board member.
Amy
How you doing?
Rivera, board member.
Ed August, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Michelle Rand, Boards Administrator.
And Jay Scria, Department of License and Inspections.
Okay, whoever's going to be testifying, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Jace, take it away.
All right, this is BVS case number MI-2021-005032 for 5 North Christopher Columbus Boulevard. For the record, can you please state your name?
Plato Marinakis, Plato Studio.
My name is Avery Matthews, also with Plato Studio.
Okay, whoever's going to present the case, go ahead.
I'll start and then I'll let Avery finish up. Basically, this restaurant's been here probably for the last 20 or 30 years. And basically, we've documented the existing conditions of the place. And the reason we're here is the main issue is the examiner felt that we were going back through the building to exit. But as you can see on our plans and our photographs that we'll show you, it's exiting on a basically on a veranda, like basically a dock, and then you go under the building and then you come back out on the front sidewalk. And there's plenty of exits. for this space. And I think we're in good shape. So Avery can go a little bit more in the details and show some of the photos and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, Avery, before you start, can I ask what prompted this?
What prompted this is there was never a use permit that was filed over the longest period of time. So when my current client has a lease and there was issues with the lease, so they're like, we don't have a use permit. I'm like, okay, well, the restaurant's been there, so we filed for a use permit, and then they made us go through the building permit because I guess it was never registered on the L&I website.
Okay.
That's all I know. But the owner's plan is, and also the building's currently sprinklered NFPA 13. And they're going to renovate this and do a new interior design because it needs to be updated. Right now, it's kind of in dilapidated shape.
Plato, is the kind of tunnel under the building, is that a rated kind of surfaces on either side and the ceiling, as far as you know?
Yeah, as far as I know, there's masonry on the walls. There's a metal ceiling, it's kind of dark. If you can look at.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know the rating of the ceiling. I'm assuming it's concrete on top of it. I mean, we can investigate that. I'm a little short-staffed today. My babysitter had to attend the funeral, so I apologize. I hear my kid in the background.
That's all right, no problem.
So basically that's the door. So Avery can kind of walk through how you get out of this place.
Yeah. Anyway, so to elaborate a little bit on what Plato said, there are a lot of exits on both the first and second floor. Obviously, you can see all of the doors exiting to the interior. That's the dock that Plato mentioned. So doors throughout all of the different spaces, private and public spaces, as well as on the second floor where there's a walkway that rings the inside. So the issue that we're having is that because they all enter to the interior of the dock, none of them exit directly to the outside where the street is. So what we are here basically to explain is that though you don't exit directly to the street, you are able to be outside the entire time. So I have some images here that sort of explain that path. So starting from the furthest exit from the street up here, that's the northmost corner. So here's an image over here that faces the inside. So there's that walkway that rings all around the dock space. Further in, here's an image from the corner that's over here. This is the restaurant to the left right there. Images 3 and 4 explain how you would go from the stairs on the second floor down to the first floor via the second floor space in the restaurant. And then finally, 5 and 6, this is where the gate, right here, image 5 shows the gate that you would exit through to get to the street, where you can see the street in the background. And then image 6 is an image of that gate and the tunnel from the street.
Does the restaurant own that tunnel?
I think it's used by there's Waterfront Gourmet on the other side. They use that walkway, and I believe the upstairs are some offices for some architect builders that use that. So there's some offices up there too that use that. So it's like kind of a public way, but exits only. It's not really an entrance. It's really kind of one directional. You can see the Panic hardware that's on there. I took these pictures myself today, so that's the current condition.
Jace, a question. On the second floor, you go outside and there's, you're on the walkway, there's nothing above you. So there's no,
Right.
You're not under the building there. On the ground floor, you exit, you're under the walkway that's on the second floor. Is that considered being, in the building, or is that
So
it's open on the side? Does it not?
So where that tunnel alleyway is to the public right away, I think there's a building on top, and that's what the examiner was saying. Technically, it's a part of that structure, And yeah,
Correct. That's that right
so
there.
that, yeah, that top portion, I think there's a retail space up there, right, Plato?
I believe it's the part of the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's part of the
So
restaurant.
technically, it's part of the building. That's the reason why the examiner.
Yeah, no, I understand it on that part. I'm just wondering about along, kind of the waterfront side. Is that also considered to being under the building?
Oh yeah, underneath the, yeah, I see what you're saying. Underneath that first floor level.
Zoom in on image 3, Avery, if you don't mind, because I guess that's what. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that actually is the upstairs. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's the door. That there's a covered walkway. Then is there an image down below, Avery? Or
Yeah, this is at the bottom of those stairs.
yeah, so it's covered. Yeah, there's a porch. Yeah, Ted's right. There's a porch on top of.
But is that all concrete construction?
Yeah, it's all non-combustible.
Yeah. So I think from that standpoint, we would be comfortable with that. It's a question of whether there's a rated, ceiling cap, whatever that you're walking through in that arch tunnel.
Avery, do we have a picture of anything close to that? It's basically that metal ceiling. I didn't get in there to see what was going on, but
I don't believe I have any images from inside. Let me check really fast. I don't think
I thought I took one that was in when I was in under the building, basically.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is if there was a fire in that space, you would just jump in the river or continue down the waterfront.
Yeah, walk around to the side.
Yeah.
Jump on a boat.
You jump on a boat.
Or running all the way down to the next tenant space.
Yeah,
so this shows it. It's still a little bit dark, but this does show the ceiling in there.
Yeah, it's like one of those metal rated, not rated, but it's a metal like corrugated looking soffit panels. But that's all concrete construction up there too. So I mean,
So it inherently has a rating.
Yeah, the concrete is rated. I mean,
John, do you have any concerns with this?
Quick question for you. In the pictures, in the pathway or the tunnel going from the rear of the structure to the public way, you go through that tunnel. I see it's type 2B construction. Is that glass windows on the right of that? From the picture, it looks like they're windows, or is that metal?
Yes, that's at the adjacent, the cafe that Plato mentioned.
Yeah, the cafe has a door, I think, that exits out of there too. There's an exit that faces the street. I think this is a minor exit that goes into that right away area.
Right. Okay. Yeah. My concern or my thought was, as you're going to a public way, if the structure is on fire, is that a kind of in lieu of a fire tower, a completely safe place to pass through? But that's another address, another building totally.
Well, it's the same building, but they're just different tenants.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a condo building. My client, if you go back to the main plan, Avery, if you look at the plan, basically you have the purples and there's a kitchen. That's all one condo. Then the ones that are kind of in the back there where it says 57 occupants and 41 occupants, those were actually other condos that were combined. And then the upstairs was the upstairs dining.
But for all these places, there's really one way out, and you egress out the rear, correct? Under that covered pathway. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, but you also can exit to the front. The kitchen has a door that goes directly to the sidewalk. And then there's another door because there's a second stair that's internal that goes directly, that goes to the inside, but there's a stair, point to the other stair, Avery, on the left here. This is the internal stair that goes from the second floor to the
fire stair. Oh, yes, right here.
That stair that goes down and that goes out to the street too.
Okay.
So it's probably 60-40, something like that. The two spaces in the back have to go through the deck.
I got it. My concern was if that's the only way out from the back of the building, the building's on fire. I mean, you always think worst possible case scenario.
Of course.
Fire wasn't extinguished by the sprinkler system. Now everybody's going out and that one tunnel was compromised from fire blowing out those windows. You're kind of trapped in the back.
Yeah, you have a good point.
Yeah, is there any way that there could be sort of almost like a deluge curtain where there is glass that's facing that tunnel?
We could look at, you know, doing a dry system to sprinkler the tunnel too, so that it would never.
That would be probably better yet, but.
But I mean, again, the other areas, I don't really have control over, so I got to talk to the building management and all that to see if we could rate those doors or somehow maybe make a tunnel. I guess that would be just for egress, you know.
Wayne, could those be heads that were dry, but were sort of, I don't know what you call it.
Sidewalls?
Well, they're either sidewalls coming from the occupied space on either side or on the La Veranda side. And, you know.
Could you just put a water curtain tent on the inside of each side?
Well, they control the coat check side there, but they don't control the other side, the other tenant. I mean, I guess they're tenants of the same owner. Is that?
The tenant for the Waterfront Square is a different tenant than the tenant for La Veranda.
Right, but the owner of the whole building is the same owner. Yes.
No, it's a condo.
Okay, got it. Never mind.
Yeah.
As Wayne says, either sidewall coming out of that coat check room, you know, or I was just wondering if there could be a pipe that goes across and there's a head, you know, in that metal ceiling or a series of heads, but they're dry except when there's a.
Yeah, there'd have to be dry pendant heads in there if you put it out there. That's a whole complete different system.
Yeah, you can't have a portion of the system that's dry and there's sort of it's a quick release thing when. So what you're saying is sidewall would be the best bet there.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. How many heads would you need in there? That's my question.
Hey, Avery, how big is that space roughly? I mean, it looks like it's almost 16, 17 feet wide by.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 25, 30. Let me verify that.
So there's in that walkway, that tunnel, the La Veranda side only has a coat room, which could be a rated wall, possibly.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That is probably
roof,
yeah.
The roof we think is all concrete with some ceiling hanging from it. Yeah. And on the other side, was there a window? Or is that also?
That's a window. I think that's a window. Yeah.
There is a window?
It's a doorway. It's not a window. It's like a door. It looks like, yeah, that's not rated.
So this space is about 16 by 27.
I'm just wondering if they can make it a completely rated walkway. Do we want to force them to put a dry system in there?
I mean,
but that's a whole different condo. That's what you're saying, Amy. That the other side.
Yeah, the other side, the left side, we don't really control, and that's.
Yeah.
So it's an actual condo. It's not one owner with tenants.
No, it's not. It's a condo. Because remember, there's all these residential condos that kind of are further out into the river.
Our space does overhang the tunnel, though, so the ceiling is the floor of these offices over here.
Okay.
So yeah, when we rent, we could put a rated ceiling in there. I don't see why that would be a big issue. To put a couple layers of drywall and make sure that is more. It's only the only other side is the Waterfront Gourmet. I don't know how do we take care of that, but.
Yeah, well, that's since we can't do anything about the Waterfront Gourmet's glass wall, or unrated wall. It just seems like protecting it with sprinkler heads would be, the best approach. And I mean, I think it may be 2 or 3 sidewall sprinkler heads along that, that coat room. I mean, does that sound right, Wayne? From
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So
Yes, I think, yeah, I think we're okay with that.
Does that sound reasonable, John?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was my only concern. It's whatever you guys think's best, but like I say, since that is the primary exit for a lot of people, if there was an event, you kind of want to make that as safe as possible, that pathway. And yeah, that would be fine.
Yep.
So you're suggesting just putting heads on our side?
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering. If, there's enough. It's only 16 feet wide. It's not, you know, I think that would work from.
Well, and
Wayne will know better.
I'm thinking if there's a fire in the store on the other side,
right?
Those 16 heads aren't going to go off.
I mean, this is thinking out of the box, and I'm not an architect by any means. That space, that tunnel, 16 feet wide.
Yes.
And
well, you to get the picture back up.
Water with this crazy idea, but what's wrong with putting a rated wall down the middle, creating like your own alleyway?
Yeah,
not attractive.
It's not attractive. It messes up the architecture totally. I get it.
Well, and it also kind of makes it more problematic if people were exiting through that area. You know,
well, depending on space, you'd have to do an egress calculation, right, to see how many people could be there and can people all fit through there at one time.
Yeah, the width.
How many inches is that? And 0.2 inches per. Yeah, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's why it seems sprinklers would do the best job there. I don't know.
It would give you some protection for on your side, not the other side.
Yeah, well, then everybody walks down your side, right?
The left side when you're going out.
Yeah.
But I just, if there's an event on the other side, those sprinkler heads aren't going to go off. And if the fire breaks through that glass or that door.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Concern. That's exactly what I'm not saying, but that is the worst possible scenario right there. Exactly. Fire blows through that tunnel becomes all smoked up and hot and people are trapped in the back.
You zoom in, Avery, on image number 5. I mean, it does look
this as well.
Yeah, but that doesn't really show the wall.
Unless we put sprinkler heads on the other side, I don't see a point in putting sprinkler heads in there.
Yeah, but they would have to do it as dry heads on the outside of the glass because
they have management control over the other space, right? I think that's what I heard.
Right.
Yeah, so you couldn't do like a fire shutter or nothing, like boom. Yeah.
Right.
Why can't we do dry sprinkler heads and tie it to the building's fire alarm, and just it'll be an improvement for everybody in the building?
Yeah.
You could. I'm just trying to think of a more cost-effective solution.
But that sounds like it'll actually will do better than sidewalls just on the one side. So
that Plato, you said that across the street. That's not a condo. That's a store, right, or a cafe.
Yeah. Can you, Avery, go to the front image? We have a front image, like better. Yeah. Well, that doesn't show the cafe. Yeah.
Let me.
Do you have a Google?
Good. Because that cafe, I mean, they still have a sprinkler system there. They can put heads over their windows on the inside.
I couldn't hear you, Wayne, but I think they were saying that that's a whole different owner on that other side of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So
Is it this? A separate sprinkler systems too. I was figuring it was just one sprinkler system.
Well, I don't know the sprinkler system. I haven't delved into that kind of detail on it, but
you can see their glass.
Yeah, you see the glass.
Yeah, in the front glass too. The
so could the dry system be in the ceiling underneath La Veranda space, covering that glass?
Yeah, I think that's
They can put it in the ceiling. Yeah, they can put a dry system out there. Sure. They can pull one out. They'll find a way to put it out there.
Yeah, well, I would replace that ceiling and make it, because it's kind of like dilapidated now. And he's gonna renovate the restaurant anyway, so
Yeah.
that, you know, we're gonna be moving
Put a
some
dry
heads.
system in there. Put a line of heads over by the other window, and a line of heads. In La Veranda.
Yeah, I think that's the best solution for me. But that, obviously I defer to you guys.
That sounds good.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're good.
Have a good, happy holidays, everybody. Thank
Yeah,
you.
have a good holiday.
Happy holiday.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Recording on.
How many people you say, Deb? 4?
5.
5, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
One more, sorry.
Okay, how many you got?
1, 2, 3, 5.
Everybody in?
There was one I missed, so.
Okay.
5. I have 2 phones, Mark Wallace
Yep,
and Roman.
and there should be Dan. But he
Is
may
Dan
be
on one of
calling.
the iPhones?
Yeah, Dan's in on a mobile.
Okay,
Okay. I didn't see any names. I mean, I can rename it, but you know, I just have an iPhone and a phone number.
okay. I'm going to assume that that's him.
Okay.
Okay, want to start?
Sure.
They're still connecting. We should wait till they connect.
Oh, they're still connecting? All right.
The one person is.
Okay.
Mark isn't connected yet. He's having trouble.
Okay. And Mark is the most essential person because he has the plans.
Oh, well, then that would be good if we waited.
It would be. I can entertain everybody, but I can't share plans.
Scott, I think you can probably start with just how we exhausted efforts trying to get these easements.
All right. So yeah, while Mark's trying to connect, I'll just refresh everybody's memory because this case was here.
We should probably do our intro first.
Yeah, we got to do our intro first. Okay, I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Agus, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Michelle Rand, Boards Administrator.
Jay Scaria, Department of License Inspections.
Okay, anybody going to testify in the hearing, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Do.
Okay, Jace, take it away.
All right, this is BBS case number MI-2021-004176 for 3415 to 3417 Haverford Avenue. For the record, can you please state your name?
Yeah, I'm Jared Klein from Black Rome.
Mark Wallace, Core Design Architecture.
Roman Sosowski, Northeast Builders, and Dan Acavellas, who we have on the mobile owner.
Okay, that's everybody.
Hi, guys, if you can hear me.
Okay, good. Whoever's going to present the case, go ahead.
Sure. So I'm going to start, and I'll be very brief. This is the second time that we're here. So just to remind the board, this is a residential conversion of what was formerly a church building. So it's an adaptive reuse situation. We've had some challenges with the way that the building is laid out to meet all aspects of the code. And in addition to trying to reuse the existing structure, there's also a mural on this building that is of some importance to the surrounding community. So we were trying to preserve the building for that reason. When we were last here, we had covered an issue with the windows that I think everybody was okay with because of the way the building was designed. But the outstanding issue was this ingress-egress component. And the suggestion was made that we try and speak to some of the adjacent parking lot owners about an easement to allow ingress and egress. Since we've been here last, I've reached out to both of those property owners, one of whom never responded to multiple attempts, and one of whom, not all that politely, told me no. And so failing to get an easement access, we then reworked the plans to try and create this sort of tunnel egress system that was disconnected from the stairwell which was what we had talked about as sort of a plan B the last time we were together. So that's the option that we've got now. And I'm going to ask Mark to share the plans and explain specifically what we did.
Yeah, give me. Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I was trying to log in with my other machine. Please hold a second. I'm very sorry, everyone.
All right, no problem.
It is not loading for me.
Mark, if you email me the plans, I will share my screen also. If you're able to shoot that to me, or I think you already did.
Yeah, just I think it's loading now. Again, I apologize. I think I have it now.
Mark, I've got them if you need me to share my screen.
Got it.
There we go.
He's got it. All right.
Okay.
Again, I apologize, everybody. So the only floor in question here is the first floor, because we're trying to egress out of the rear yard. What we created was an exit passageway that is disconnected from the stair that comes through along the commercial space and out through a separate door, so that the stair tower discharges directly to the street, and the two rear units and the rear yard will egress through this rear passageway.
The only issue I see with this arrangement, you can't have that trash room open into the exit passageway.
We can remove that then.
And then, is that a utility chase that's right next to the bathroom there?
It's a column.
Column, okay.
There are these existing wide boxed columns,
Gotcha.
steel enclosures that we're not really
Moving.
we're trying to avoid touching.
And what's the rating of the walls, the green walls?
The green walls are all 1 hour. The blue walls are 2 hours. So with an NFP 13R system throughout the rest of the space, we need to separate the commercial use by 2 hours. But this egress passageway we have at 1 hour.
This stair tower that's going up throughout the building, does that only goes up 3 stories?
Correct.
Okay. So the basements, that's separate, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's separated by 1 hour. Okay.
Correct.
So the rating of the stair towers are that basically are getting people to the point where they need to go back through the building, those are all 1 hour rated?
Correct. So essentially 2 units are accessed from this stair, 2 units are accessed from this stair at the upper floors. This one is a 1 hour enclosure, but as it passes the commercial use, it'll be 2 hours. But both stair towers are 1 hour because they only go from a first floor to a third floor. So they're only a 2-story stair tower.
Right. So we're not going from a 2 hour rated enclosure to a 1 hour rated enclosure as part of the exit process.
That is correct. Only the commercial space is separated by 2 hours along it, but that we are not going from a 2 hour rating to a 1 hour rating.
And is that, I guess the horizontal separations, I mean, ceilings within this are all, would be 1 hour rated as well as the vertical walls?
That is correct. Which they are currently because they're separating units anyway.
Right.
Is that good, Jace?
Yeah, I mean, the only variance would be them going back through the building. So that would be the variance that you guys would be giving.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as long as they remove the trash room out of the way and looks like it's not communicating with any of the other interior exit stairways, I think you're okay. But that you would have to give that variance.
Okay.
Jace, would I be able to add a separate chamber, essentially another hallway into that trash room? I do have space for it. Or does it need to be out of that space entirely?
Needs to be out of, like if you put another aisle in there, so it doesn't open directly into the exit passageway, you can do it that way, but I don't know how you're going to do it with this arrangement.
I think I have enough space to maybe shave a little bit off here, add a second hallway. Can you guys see my crosshair?
Yes.
Add a second room here that's just a hallway with no use, and then into the trash room. I believe that would meet the code requirement.
As long as it doesn't open directly, I think you're.
Yeah. So I'll separate that off, and then that way we can keep the trash storage in there. But I don't know if you would add essentially the proviso that I would separate that from the exit enclosure.
It's a trash room with a vestibule.
Correct.
And the door to the kitchen and the door to that vestibule, whatever, those would be 1 hour rated or.
Correct. So the doors into the units are rated a full 60 minutes as opposed to 30 minutes because it's opening up into that enclosure. And so will the door in from the trash enclosure or the hallway of the trash enclosure.
That outdoor area that leads to the exit passageway, is that open to the sky?
Yes.
The issue with, like, so why is there, so that's there, is that coming from the basement level or is that coming from upstairs?
This stair here?
Right.
So it's about a half a story down from where the rear yard is to the finished first floor.
Okay, so you're going down those steps to access that exit passageway.
That is correct. So if you see this back portion is essentially at the rear yard space, there is an internal stair here in that unit to step you up that half a story.
Okay.
And can you put a sprinkler head at any window that's sort of facing onto that little exterior space?
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, you can't have a kitchen open into the exit enclosure either. I didn't realize that was a kitchen. Or is that a unit?
It's a unit.
Oh, it's a unit.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so along this is one unit here, and then the hallway separates then the other unit. So there's 2 residential units at this floor, and then the commercial unit in the front.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was a standalone kitchen. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah. And that's the way I was reading.
No, it's not a common or anything. It is part of that unit.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
How does that unit open in? I don't understand that unit.
I'm sorry, which one? Unit 102 or one?
That one. Like, okay, there's the kitchen. Yes, correct. You come in, there's the kitchen.
This is a cased opening here. So there's existing heavy masonry wall with 3 openings in it now. We're closing in these 2. And then this is a cased opening.
I assume that was a bedroom. So that's not a bedroom. I can't read. Is that a living room?
Correct. That is a living room.
Okay. All right.
So yeah. So this, I mean, this is a heavy masonry wall that goes up through to the 2nd floor. So we're using the existing openings instead of trying to blow that out.
Okay.
Okay, we all good with it?
Sure.
Good. Aim?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Fine. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate
it.
Okay.
Recording started.
Lisa, you ready?
This is BBS case number MI-2021-005195 for 1959 North 52nd Street.
And the decision is withdrawn. Ms. Sims withdrew her
appeal, right?
Sims withdrew her appeal on December 7th in writing for 1959 North 52nd Street. Case number CF-2020-021336.
Okay. And recording.